Real JP Multimedia, proud sponsor of the Nerdball Podcast. Here to help you with all things audio, video, graphics, photo, web design. From weddings to real estate, commercial business to private use, we offer a big variety of services for almost any budget. And if we can't do it, we will find someone who can. Find us at realjp.com. That's REELJP.com. Real JP Multimedia.
I'm Lexi Marshall, and this is the Nerdball Podcast.
This is the Nerdball Podcast with Lorenzo Melcher.
Awesome. All right, Lexi, thanks for coming on my podcast after berated me for not inviting you, inviting Ben several hundred times.
Several. It's been a life goal of mine. So
Oh, I feel so special now.
Yes.
Well, I feel like I've heard about your kids more from my kids before I really met you. Besides and Ben, but I've known Ben longer, and I feel like Lexi is just Lexi's there. But now you're here, and you're the spotlight, and we're gonna talk all about Lexi.
Yes, the mom. It's time to shine.
Yes, yeah.
Oh, my mother, no, this does not happen often.
Well, that's good. That's good.
Yeah.
So did you grow up in Perrysburg? Did you grow up around here?
I did. I was born and raised.
Okay.
My mom is from Maumee, and my dad was from Perrysburg. So they got married at St. Joe's, but had the reception at St. Rose.
Okay.
Yep. Which is fun. And my mom said she'd only live in Perrysburg if she could live in the township. So I grew up on 5 Point Road.
Okay. All right. Did you ever, and I'll go back to high school stuff, but as you became an adult, was there ever a point of view like, I don't want to live in Perrysburg when I can buy my own house?
Yeah, no, we tried that. We tried to live in Columbus. So when I graduated college, I was business education. So I knew it'd be more difficult for me to find a job.
Mm-hmm.
So I applied down in Columbus at Hilliard, and I got a job there at Hilliard Davidson. And I have a couple cousins down in Columbus.
Yeah.
So Ben actually had accepted a job in Evergreen, or was offered a job in Evergreen, and he had nothing in Columbus, but he went with me to Columbus, which was really cool.
Yeah.
Still just dating. But so we moved down there. I taught in Columbus for 2 years. We got married. And then I got pregnant. And I was like, uh-oh. I don't want to be here. I'm too far away. So immediately I'm like, we just have to move home. I can't be this far away from my parents and your parents and my aunts and uncles, because we have a lot of family.
Yeah.
So I had no job. We moved back. He took a job at Bowling Green High School, which he ended up loving.
Yeah.
We moved into my mother-in-law's basement and
I've been there.
Oh yeah. So brought home a baby to a basement and lived there for a while.
So that's why he's like that.
Yes, exactly.
No.
Exactly. There was
basement
mold.
Baby.
There was mold down there, and we had to move out. So 100%. Anything wrong with Sunny? My bad.
All right. So you grew up in Perrysburg. Did you play sports when you were in high school?
Yeah. So I played. I have a sister and me. So I was no sons for my parents. Like sports. For you. So I played soccer, softball, and basketball, all the way up until 8th grade. And then I quit softball and soccer and just played basketball through high school. And I have 2 regrets in life, and one of them is quitting softball. Now,
because I always talk to kids. I try to get them to play football. In there, the one thing I'm okay with them saying no is if they play soccer because it's the same season. But a lot of them are like, no, I play basketball, or I do wrestling, or I run track or baseball. Like, okay, those are completely different seasons. So I was going to ask you, what you were playing 3 sports that were in 3 completely different seasons. Why'd you decide not to only play one then?
Yeah, I remember I didn't want to do two-a-days for soccer. I thought that is silly to
Silly.
wake up that early
Yeah.
and play that. And I think I was also a fair weather fan. Like I always say basketball is 70 and sunny every day, like
Okay.
in a gym.
Hmm.
Um, so soccer wasn't, I think, my like love or anything. And then softball, this is so sad. And I need to talk to my parents about it. But I was always like the star, the shortstop, like loved it.
Yeah.
And then I played up on my sister's travel team.
Hmm.
And like the starting JV or varsity shortstop was on our travel team. So I was a right fielder, wasn't the center of everyone's all the spotlight. And
But
I
you,
got,
but again, you were playing up, so that
yeah,
was yeah,
why my brain did not register that, or my
sure.
parents didn't sit me down, and maybe they did, and I don't remember.
Mm,
And I just had a bad taste in my mouth for softball. And like,
mm.
I'm not playing. And it's so sad. And I could have picked it up, I'm sure, sophomore, junior year, and had fun and even played on JV as a junior or something and just enjoyed it, but I didn't. And I think I was way better at softball than basketball. So why I only pursued basketball, I have no idea. But I had a great time with it. And I
Yeah.
had friends on both teams. I had friends on the softball team and on the soccer team. I don't know. It was sad. Biggest regret, like two regrets in life, and that's one of them for sure.
Yeah. Yeah. I felt that way a little bit when I didn't try out for baseball my freshman year. Now freshman year was different for me because I moved from Toledo to Perrysburg as a freshman. So I wasn't even going to play football, but my dad said, "Hey, play football. You'll meet some people before school starts." So I did, and then I was going to try out for baseball. I love baseball; is my favorite sport. I love baseball. But then I heard like, oh, they have this really good kid who plays catcher. That's what I played, and a really good first baseman, which also what I played. I'm like, well, I just won't do it. And at least I wish I would have at least tried out for it.
Yeah.
But ultimately, it still ended up good because I did track. I didn't even know what a shot put was, but I ended up being really good at it, and I really liked it. So
Your
it
year, you went for track then?
say it again.
It was your freshman year you went for track?
Yeah, yeah.
Okay.
Mr. Keel was my football coach, and he was also the head track coach. So after the football season, he goes, "Hey, if you don't make the baseball team, you should come try track." And I said, "Okay." So I just did it. If he wasn't my football coach, I probably wouldn't have done track because I would have known nothing about it.
Yeah.
It's weird how that stuff kind of works out.
Yeah. Well, and then you pass that on, right? Because
Yeah.
you kept doing that with a lot of the football kids at Perrysburg.
Oh, for sure. Yeah. Actually, I never even thought about that. But that's exactly what Mr. Keel did. It was what I did was like, hey, you play football, also try track, or the other way around. Like, oh, you do track, make sure you're playing football also.
Yeah, I can't wait for the next generation. Who's going to be the little Lorenzo after you? That'll be awesome. Maybe it'll be Harrison. Maybe we'll get
Yeah.
him.
Yeah. It was fun and I really enjoyed it. But you said something interesting. If you don't have to talk about it if you don't want to. You said you had two regrets and one was softball. What was the other regret?
Oh, hiring the kitchen contractors so that we could hire
What happened?
No, they were awful. They were
Oh,
a cheaper version, right? So I'm like, cool, we can afford this. Let's redo our entire kitchen. It didn't work for us. It was
yeah.
weird layout. And they started like 3 weeks after they said they were going to.
Mm-hmm.
And we did demo. So I was without like a sink or a kitchen for 3 weeks for no reason. And we're talking like January 1. So terrible time in the winter to not have anything. And
Yeah.
then they would show up for like 2 hours a day and leave. They were so bad at everything they did.
Oh.
Have to call and they'd be like, oh, we're on our way. Don't worry, ma'am. And they never showed up. It was just the worst thing.
Now, when I was in your house, I'll have to pay attention now next time I'm in there. But I never like noticed like this doesn't look right or doesn't look good.
Oh yeah, no. Like, and we even tried to like stop them from coming. We're like,
Oh,
don't
really?
do floors, don't do our baseboards, we'll do it. So our floors and baseboards they're lovely. My husband did a lovely job on them.
The way you have to preface this.
Yeah. But they're not caulked yet, and they're interesting angles, but It's all right. I'm thankful he did it for free because it
Yeah.
probably would look the same if we would have paid these guys all the extra money to do it.
Yeah, I did our floors too, and I probably if Andrew would probably say the exact same thing. Like, I'm glad he did it. I love him so much, but there's some issues, you know.
Yeah. Oh my gosh. Those were, it was just so bad.
You know, I learned a long time ago, at a job where for the first time I was involved. They said, Lorenzo, you got to get estimates we got to cut over 100 trees down. You got to get estimates from 3 companies. I said, okay. So I got estimates. One was super, super expensive. One was really cheap where I'm like, oh my gosh, why is it so cheap? And then the middle one was the middle one. And my boss sat me down. We looked at him and he goes, all right, your first lesson is never go with the cheapest one because it's usually too good to be true.
Yes. I have learned that the very, very difficult way.
Yeah. Luckily, I had someone telling me don't pick that one.
Yes. If you would have invited me on this podcast in a timely manner, Lorenzo, taught me that before I ruined 3 months of my life and had 2 regrets instead of 1. But I'll forgive you.
I was little part of me was like, I wonder if one regrets could be like, man, there was this guy, and I went.
Ben Marshall. Can't shake him now.
Yeah, well, that's all right.
Yes, okay. No, kitchen, just the stress of my kitchen and those humans. And I think a mutual friend had them. I tried to like talk them out. And they at crew ended up getting fired because they stole from that woman's house.
Oh,
So
wait. This was obviously after yours, and you said you tried to talk her out of hiring them.
well, I guess we had a mutual friend.
Okay.
The kids went to the babysitter, and
Okay,
it was
okay.
with someone, and that person's neighbor had it.
Got
and
it.
I told her, I'm like, be warned, don't demo early. It's awful. And it was 2020. It was and 2021, January.
Okay.
So work contracting was just terribly difficult to find.
Yeah,
Everyone
yeah.
out. Because we started our process pre COVID. And so I think they're in the same boat, like, yes, but we just want this done, blah, blah, blah. And it ended up being awful. And then they got fired from the company, this crew. So they probably stole something here, and I just don't have things. And I don't I'm messy, so I didn't realize it, but it's fine. I don't think I ever told Ben Marshall that because he would not be thrilled to know.
That's cool. That's a nice little tidbit.
Yeah, fun fact. I don't wear my wedding ring anymore for no particular reason. It's fine. Don't mention it. But
Oh my gosh, this is awesome. So what do you have plans to use? I'm assuming that like just like us, we're like, yeah, we want to do this to our house, do that to our house. How leery are you now? Like, does it make you nervous and scared to hire people?
Oh yeah, absolutely. Like,
Yeah.
and if I did hire someone, it would be the most expensive, like private butler situation we'd never be able to afford that. So
You just need references.
yes, absolutely. Several.
Yeah.
Several. And I think part of it, my family, we're all like working men, as Sonny, as we like call them. And so my uncles and my grandpa, my dad, my mom redid our kitchen, and they re-sided our house and put an addition, like a sunroom. So I was so used to that as well.
Yeah.
I think I'm skewed, and now they're not doing as much. Obviously they're all older. So I just need to find some good friends or like some more family, train my family again, to do the work.
That's exactly how mine and Andrea's family are too. Like her dad does everything and has everything. If ever I need a tool for something, like he has it. And it's sitting in, like I have a cabinet specifically for Dale's tools because I don't always take them back.
Yeah.
And my dad too. My dad's dad was a carpenter, and he built his house like in Texas. He built his house that they all grew up in. And I remember he would come up from Texas when we lived in Toledo, and we'd have all these projects. I remember being 8 years old on the roof, like re-roofing our house, with no safety measures, just up there with the tool belt on. My dad cut a spruce tree down one time and almost took out our house. Like there was he built our playground, our little play set in our backyard. He redid our deck. It took him 3 years to put the decking on, but eventually he did it. Like so, like he does like. I was so used to it, just like you.
Yes.
So then, like, anytime I get the chance to like try something, like I want to try and see if I can do it, or if I can, like, oh, here's my chance to buy like a new tool or something, and
Yeah.
so I try to do it. There's just some stuff I'm never gonna do that. Like my neighbor a couple houses down does all kinds of stuff, and there's this like I'm not gonna re-roof my own house. I'm not gonna put in my own windows. If when I need new siding, I'm gonna hire someone to do siding. Like my dad did all that. I remember being 10 and helping my dad with siding. Like it's
Yeah.
all this stuff, but I'm just gonna say I'll save money and I'll pay for it. Someone else to do it.
Yeah. Isn't that funny? So what is it? We
I don't
value our
know.
time more. Like, they could spend hours and hours and it was fine. And I don't know, we have more stuff going on, or we just don't.
Yeah.
I don't know what it is. Because
Yeah.
Ben will try and learn, and he'll go with my dad and watch and do stuff. But yeah, same thing. I can't imagine like having a bunch of family over here for 2 weeks in a row in the evenings and working on a big project like that.
Yeah. I mean, it's just a different time, and I think you're right. I think it's the value of your own time. And maybe my dad didn't see it that way because he just was always like that, and we were there helping him. Me and my older brother,
Yeah.
we were out there doing stuff, probably messing things up more than helping. I remember siding. Yeah, specifically I remember siding, because I learned that when you're hammering and siding, you can't hammer it tight because it's got to have the freeze and thaw. It's got to be able to move. So I remember
Yeah.
like putting up a bunch of siding. My dad's like, "Wait, how are you hammering those in?" And he's like, "All right, well, where'd you start? Because we can't do it that way."
Damn it, Lorenzo.
But it just, I don't know. It was fun as a little kid, and it's the same thing. My dad always said when we had Mateo, our first kid, he said, when he gets older, he's going to ask to help you do things, and you have to let him. It's going to take it 3 times longer, but you have to
Yeah.
let him because he's inquisitive. He wants to learn, and all kids are like that, and that's happened. Like, but what I've learned is like, whatever I'm doing, they want to help for a little bit, and then they're out of here.
Uh-huh.
So,
Yeah. It's fun
like,
for like 12 seconds, and they realize it's actually not fun.
like this is hard. No, it's fun watching you
Yeah.
not doing it.
Absolutely. Uh-huh. And then mom's gonna yell at both of us and not just you. Yeah. For sure.
Yeah,
But that's
yeah,
cool though. Like the freezing and thawing thing. I didn't know that because I didn't help, but now you'll know that forever.
yeah.
So doing that's cool.
And know not to cut a tree down, and almost hit our house. So
Yeah, ropes, lots of ropes,
yeah,
maybe.
that's the kind of thing to where I hire out now, and maybe it's because that traumatic experience of almost getting our house destroyed. I don't know.
Yeah, I saved $500 not paying anyone, and it's destroyed our roof and first or second floor of our house. But we can see that value.
You gotta look at the bright side on that.
Yeah.
It only cost us a gutter. I think that's how close. That's how close it was. It just yeah. You said you have an older sister.
I do, Mallory.
Did you guys get along when you were little?
We did not.
No.
No.
Do you get along now?
We try.
Okay.
We
all right.
try. We both. So I would walk through fire for her, right?
Sure.
Absolutely today. But we were 21 months apart. And we've always been so different. So this is a really good example. Mal and has Kenzie and Sunny, their birthdays are 2 days apart in September. So Mal will call me, and part of it is her husband's work schedule. He has to ask off like months in advance. But she'll call me like June, maybe May, like, hey, when are you having Sunny's September birthday party? Like, we think Kenzie's out, we know. I'm like, oh Mal, I don't know, probably like 48 hours in advance when that party is. So she is like type A, all amazing grades, a planner she has a plan for her plans, wonderful like that. And I am just like, I live my life and see what happens and hope for the best. So I think we always annoyed each other.
Okay. I can see that.
Oh, absolutely. She just can't understand me and I can't understand her. So, and we're better definitely now. She's a teacher and so am I. So we have that, but yeah, we were always so different. And I think 21 months apart is a difficult time because you're close enough that you should like get more of each other, like we should be playing together more. We should like the same things, but we're far enough apart that it's not quite there.
Yeah.
So I'm sure I was the annoying little sister literally forever. I still am.
Yeah.
Like I am still the annoying, like I can't believe she survives. She's adulting.
She has kids.
Yeah, exactly. Like how is that possible? She definitely doesn't like pay her insurance bills. I'm sure, like, you know what I mean? Those adult things, I'm sure Mallory and lots of people probably think I don't do.
Yeah.
So, but yeah, she's local. She teaches at Rossford, lives off Bradner Road. So we still do things together every once in a while, and we talk often. But
Yeah.
yeah.
I think it's funny that you're both do the same. You're both teachers. I bet you guys do stuff completely so different now. Just hearing what you had to say, that little bit about her.
Oh wow, yeah. She was a math teacher, like math facts, right? Like beautiful. And I've been business and technology and robots. And yep, she's an English teacher now.
Fantasy world.
Rainbows and butterflies everywhere. Like, but yeah, so it speaks. We both we have a lot of teachers in our family.
Yeah. Oh, okay.
Like in education, I have 16 cousins. And I think with my aunts and uncles and cousins, there's like 12 of us in education. So it's definitely the family business, but yeah, her and I approached it very differently.
You're writing your lesson plan the morning of, and she has 3 years worth of lesson plans ready to go.
1,000%. Yes.
Oh, that's so funny.
My students just brought up, so last year was my first year at Perrysburg High School. And I had 4 different preps. So every day, 4 lesson plans to make with 4 classes that I had never taught before, no department to lean on. So on Fridays, we have this program. It's just like an Autodesk CAD type program. And we'd have fun Fusion Fridays, which was pretty much Mrs. Marshall does not have a solid plan for 5 days a week. I can do 4 days a week. Well, Friday, we're going to be creative and have fun with this program. And my students, I have some this year from last year just brought up, oh, Mrs. Marshall, remember some of our fun Fusion for Thursdays? Yep. And I wrote down the board, I'd cross out the Friday and put for Thursday, because those were weeks that I didn't make it to Friday. So we got a fun for Thursday. And then I'd go back to like a lesson on Friday. I'd make up for it, but I couldn't.
That's so good. For Thursday.
So I'm sure Mallory did not have any for Thursdays or for Wednesdays or for Tuesdays. But that's all right.
Oh my gosh.
It takes all kinds to educate.
Oh yeah. You reach some kids that maybe other teachers could not reach.
Yeah. And in their jobs one day, they might improvise and get through the week in a different way.
Yeah, for sure. It takes, as I said, it takes all kinds. That's perfect. So you said this is your first year at Perrysburg. Where did you second.
Yep.
Where'd you teach before that? Or I guess where was your first teaching job in Columbus, or was it until you got moved back to Ohio? Okay.
So that was my first. So this is untraditional and kind of speaks, I think, to me. I have taught at 4 different schools, not usually the route. So I started in Columbus.
You got fired from 3? No, I'm just
I did not.
No, I'm just kidding.
It's all public information. There was no firing.
I'm kidding. I know.
It looks sketchy though. It does seem sketchy because teachers usually are at 1 or 2 schools their whole career. So we moved back up. I started at Bowling Green Middle School.
Teaching what?
Business.
Okay.
I was doing entrepreneurship, I think maybe not in accounting. Just some maybe marketing class for middle school students. And it was good. And I was there for 3 years. And after the first year, they said like, hey, we want some new classes, kind of revamp things. So I was excited, and I'm like, well, technology is really obviously on the up and up. People love this. So they let me pick some new electives, and I created a 6th grade technology class that I figured these 6th graders should not go into science class and not know how to make a graph. Like, their science teacher should not be teaching them the graph. Like, they could come in there with that knowledge, so they could focus on the science and all that good stuff. So I had every 6th grader and just did basic technology with them. And then I made up a coding class with some Scratch coding, which is just Blockly, pretty easy stuff. And it was fun. It was difficult to learn. I thought it'd be easier than it was, middle school coding.
Yeah.
Rough. But we got it, and it was cool. So I was there for 3 years, and then at the time, Bowling Green, their pay was pretty low compared to surrounding districts. Ben and I were both there, so we struggled for a little bit with that. So Mommy had an opening for STEM, and I was getting my master's in technology, so I knew like technology and STEM is where I wanted to go. And their pay was considerably higher. And my mom, like a bunch of my family's all from Mommy, so I was excited to be in that district. So I was there for 3 years, and that was 4th through 8th grade. So I traveled, and like breaking up in 8th grade, like fight in the morning, and then being with the 4th graders, like runny nose in the afternoon was really difficult for me.
Yeah.
Like I couldn't, and I had each grade, I had literally every single grade, and I couldn't like turn from that teacher to that teacher, because the 4th graders would be like crying. I'm like, why? I can't help you. Go to the bathroom and wash your face. Like
that was well, it was my weekend last weekend and this weekend. So I go from coaching a varsity football game Friday night, coaching a JV game Saturday morning, and then today I have to coach 2 8U girls softball games. So like to just bring it down.
Yes. Yeah. Oh my gosh. Absolutely. It's difficult. It's really hard. It's exhausting to like do those different levels and not curse at the little kids. All of these things. So it was not my cup of tea, and I missed high schoolers. So when the Perrysburg had the opening at the high school, I was like, all right, do not mess this up, Lex. This is your dream job.
This is it.
You can do this. Oh, I was so nervous. And this is actually really funny. I was in there just, again, super nervous. I thought like it was going to be a million applicants. It was going to be like a really difficult job to get. And then they offered me the job like on the spot.
Oh, really?
Right. Yes. I think the candidate pool was like real small. Like maybe there was a very solo interview process.
No, they just knew it. They just knew it.
Yeah. Or that. It could be that as well. They heard so many great things, and I had so many references from working at so many schools that they didn't need to interview anyone else. So, and I hope to stay here for more than 3 years. That would be a new PR.
Yeah, PR. Yes, that'd be good. Yeah.
Yeah.
I got offered my job at the Metro Parks, not right after the interview, but I interviewed at like 3:00, and then the very next day at like 8:30, they called me and said, "Hey, I want to offer you the job." I'm like, "Oh man, that was quick."
Yes.
So I was like, "Okay." I thought, okay, well, they really liked me compared to these other people they interviewed, but they were looking for somebody for like 7 months. So I'm like, well, I don't know, like a combination of they really liked me and they really needed someone, but also if they need someone that bad, it wouldn't have taken them 7 months. They would have just shoved somebody in there. So
yes,
come to find out, like they're really like purposeful on who they hire and where they put people and everything. So it makes more sense now that I've been with them for a few years. But at the time, I'm like, all right, let's go.
Yeah, you had that thing, that sparkle, that X factor. That's cool.
Yeah. So it was like I'm sure for you, you're like, all right, do you have any questions for us? Just salary, blah blah blah, this and that, benefits. All right, yep. And do you want the job?
Yes.
We'd like to hire you.
Yes,
Can you,
absolutely.
yeah. And with that, there is no like, it's just a yes or no because there really is no negotiating because the pay is what it is, right?
Yeah,
Yeah,
absolutely. It's
yeah.
yeah, I would like an extended Christmas break, coffee in the mornings, and yeah, no. And that is the funny thing. I guess I left out of my job history. When we moved back from Columbus, it was September, well, August, and I had Sunny in September, so I wasn't able to find a teaching job, with that time frame. And I was
Yeah,
like, you know what?
who wants to hire a new mom?
Yeah,
Yeah.
exactly. Or interview me when I'm 9 months pregnant and can
Yeah.
barely walk in the door and I'm cranky. I get it. So I'm like, you know what? I want to make more money. I'm a hard worker. I'm a good worker. I'm gonna go in the business world. Because it bothered me that like I could be the best teacher and the worst teacher. We make the exact same salary
Mm.
at the same year, and I'm putting in extra hours and all this stuff. So I went into procurement at Pilkington or NSG. Um, and I'm like, cool, I'm gonna make a lot of money, like, got this, be the breadwinner. But it was awful. Like,
Oh.
I went in the dark, left in the dark. I thought 8 to 5, like I thought it was 9 to 5 from that song. Like, it's not, it's 8 to 5, Lorenzo.
Yeah.
Like, that was shocking. So yeah, so I'm always like grateful now. I'm like, I used to care about the money and get mad about all that stuff, but now I'm
Yeah.
like, because I know the other side of it. It is not, it's hard work, man, working.
Yeah. Yeah. It's the money is a difficult thing, especially when you know what people make either above you or below you in my case. And like you can look all that stuff up. Like it's all public information.
Yeah.
So it's the exact same thing though. Like you're like, hey, I do all this extra stuff, but like nothing's happening. Like
Yeah.
what's going to happen? But you have to do it. You have to do it for yourself. And then if there's aspirations to be a principal, assistant principal, or whatever, superintendent, like you just have to look at that. Like, well, they're clearly not going to do that, and I want to do that.
Mhm.
So whatever they do isn't gonna hinder my advancement.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Yes. Yeah, that is nice because you're not competing for like, not only one of us gets a raise, you know what I mean? Like we can both do it and they're not going to go for those extra special things if I
Yeah.
and then I quickly learned it's not about the money either. Like, oh
Teaching, it can be.
no, yeah, absolutely. And we're comfortable. Ben and I are both teachers. We don't have to worry about losing our jobs, usually, or things like that. So
Yeah.
it's pretty cool now to have that security.
Well, you make whatever you make your job, whatever your job is. If you love it, then you're like, well, I'm going to figure out how to spend $10 an hour wisely, or if I love it, or I'm going to figure out how to spend $50 an hour wisely. It's you make do with what you have because you love what you do.
Absolutely. Oh yeah, for sure. And we joke around. It's kind of cool. Like we had my grandpa's old van with like 250,000 miles on it and Ben's car when he was 16. And that's what we drove like
Yeah.
for a long time. And it was fun and it was good. And it's cool. Yeah. You make it work. And looking back on it, I'm so glad we had those experiences and we did that.
And this Ben and I were talking about budgeting because I'm into budgeting and I like my budget app that I use and everything. And then he told me what you guys do. And I always find it, I don't know if it's weird. I don't think it's weird. I just find it interesting because Andrea and I don't have separate, like it's just one giant pool of money. And Ben framed it really good. He goes, I didn't want to like be upset with Lexi because she was spending money like this or like that. Like it's her money. So we just made a decision to like, this is what we're going to do, and I get it. But I told her, I was like, I think Andrew and I have shared bank accounts since before we were married. And it's just how it goes. Now, Andrew makes more money than I do. And maybe if she was in charge of the budget, maybe she'd see it differently, but we're pretty good with it. And, I don't mind it, but and there's a lot of people, I'm sure you've ran into it. A lot of couples were like, yeah, we just have separate money. We pay the bills and we go about our business. But it's an interesting way to do it because I've never done it that way.
Yeah, no, it's the great divide. It's like a moment of our marriage that was worthy of a name. You're the same way. We did everything. Like before, I think before we were married, because we were living together. We bought a house when we were engaged, but yeah, I'm a spender.
Mhm.
My parents, like I was lucky growing up. I think my dad always wanted like everything for his girls that, just make him happy. And so we worked all the time to do that.
Yeah.
And then Ben had, divorced parents when he was 5. And so 4 boys and a single mom and a single dad, like they were very money conscious. Like, um, so I would always see like, oh, wow, there's a lot of money in this checking account. Like, I don't care. I make money. I work hard.
Gotta spend it.
Yeah. And then I'd come home, the breaking point, Herbalife. I'll never forget this day. Spent like $80 on my sister was selling Herbalife stuff, just shake stuff and energy stuff. And he goes, Lex, is there something you want to talk to me about? I was so mad. I go, I have a job.
Yeah.
I'm hard. If I want to spend $80, I'm not gonna call and tell you. Like, this is stupid. So we decided then and there. Well, I decided. He was not thrilled. He thought I was like stepping towards divorce, like first step. And
Oh, sure. Yeah. If you're if you're together on this thing, it's like I don't, maybe it's not as bad, but like, hey, I'm more comfortable sleeping in this bedroom,
And don't talk to me in public if you don't mind. But like,
I'm not gonna wear my wedding ring.
Yeah. Indeed. So it's cool though. I like it. It took me a while to learn. I've made some mistakes with it.
And he said that, to your credit, he did say like, it's helped both of us, because with me, like I don't have to like worry about what she's doing because she's doing her own thing, but also it's helped her realize like, oh, I can't just spend. I got to do things here.
Yeah, absolutely. And I spend my account down to 0, but I like put into savings, I put into retirement, like, you know what I mean? But it's so much easier for me to see, oh my gosh, I have $12 in my checking account. And then there's, thousands, because Ben would have thousands. And so, and it's also cool now, Lorenzo, like we had the same credit card, like one credit card. So I couldn't even surprise him. And like, not that Ben Marshall likes gifts or buys me gifts or anything like that, but like it's nice. Or dinner, like if we go out to dinner, it really is like, oh yeah, I'll buy us dinner tonight.
Oh yeah.
For me, for my birthday, it was Monday, and he said, Lex, do you have dinner for the kids planned? I'm like, oh no. He's like, just take them to McDonald's and use my credit card. It's on me.
Happy birthday.
Yes, it was more so to like take the pain off me making them dinner.
Yeah,
it came off really funny. Like, it's your birthday, Lex. Go get a Diet Coke.
Here's a $5. Get a 20 pack of nuggets.
Yeah. But that is a nice thought. Like, we don't normally buy the kids dinner out on the weekdays, but I could use his money and go do it. So
sure. Do you find it hard to spend money on yourself?
I find ways to still do it.
It's so hard for me to do it.
Oh, really?
Yeah. Like
harder.
I don't mind. Like not like buying food or whatever. Like I'll go out to eat for lunch and stuff at work. But like if I want like these pants that I could clearly use, like the pants I wear every Friday night. Like I went shopping when in Columbus before our first game, because I was in West Virginia that whole week before our first game in Columbus. So when I drove up from West Virginia to Columbus, I was really early. So I was like, I'll go shopping at these outlet malls. And I found some nice pants, and I was like, it's buy one, get one free or something. And I was like still him and hawing about it. I'm like, just you're gonna wear these pants. But it was so difficult for me to do it. But then I wanted to get Andrea a purse, and I bought her this really cool purse, like real easy. It was super easy for me to get gifts, but I can't buy myself a hat for $20,
Yeah.
I don't know.
Do you think of what the $20 could be spent for? Other things, or you just don't like losing the money, or why?
It's like, oh, I could get something for the kids, like, oh, the kids, even though they don't, like, oh, Mateo could get a hat, or Lily needs shoes or whatever. That's how I think about it. So I can never just be like, yeah, buy this hat.
Yes. Yeah, no. Well, Ben Marshall would not buy the hat because he like would not want to spend $20 at all.
Yeah.
He's like, I need to hold on. I need to count. I think his dad like literally counts his money on Saturday mornings. Like, and and I don't know. I'm trying to get better, be more like you on that.
Well, I was the same way. I think how Ben is, because Ben, like you said, his parents went through divorce. My parents did too, but it was when I was older, and I paid, like, I would pay. I was older, so I paid attention to what was going on. Like, my mom moved out. My dad couldn't afford a house, so he had to like just get rid of the house, and they each lived in these apartments, and we were still older, but then I would go over to my dad's house, and he just retired, so he was like figuring out retirement life, and like, it's I would see all these things, and I'm like, I think that's part of it is in my brain. Like, I don't want to deal with this. Also, when my dad was younger, my mom lost her job. So my dad had to work like 12 days or 7 days a week, 12 hours, just to keep things afloat. And I'm like, I don't want to do that.
No.
So what's the best remedy here? And part of it is I went too far one way, and my dad kind of, he didn't really explain it to me, but the way he talked about it kind of like said like, okay, let's rein it in a little bit, because I was like saving money, doing all this stuff, and then like he would have to borrow money, and then I would call him like, hey, do you have that money? And part of me was like, well, you're showing me how to save money, and now I want to make sure that saved money still gets back to me. But so I went too far one way, where I was like a detriment to our family. Like you're doing, yes, you're good job, but we can't be like that all the time. So I got to find a middle here.
Yeah, you're knocking on the door. Excuse me, sir.
Sir. Is that a sheriff with you? Yes, I don't know.
Yeah. It's red in my accounting book. It needs to.
But my parents are the same now. Like, they got remarried. They married each other again, and but I still talk to my dad about finances, because he has, for as long as I can remember, he has this yellow notepad where he handwrites all the bills for the month, crosses when he pays one, crosses it out with 3 lines. It's been that way for 30 years, and so he still does all that stuff, but everything's separate. My little sister lives with them, so she chips in for things, and it's all itemized on this thing that could easily be done on a computer, a lot easier.
Yeah, copy and paste instead of writing out every single month.
Yeah, but he likes, and I did that for a while too. Now it's all on my phone and the computer and stuff, but it hasn't changed at all, except for the fact, like, my mom and dad have separate finances because they find it easier, much like you guys find it easier.
Yeah.
Less fighting. Yeah,
absolutely. And then just different paths.
And then every once in a while you get McDonald's.
Yes, absolutely. He also, he handed me a coupon as well. Like, you have to use this. But I'm just kidding.
No, that would be perfect.
Actually, so I was kind of upset with him just over the weekend and that day. So I ended up going out to dinner for my birthday, and my parents like asked to come, and we picked up my grandma, and then I paid for it with his credit card for all of us. And my dad's like, no, don't. My grandma's like, you don't pay for my meal. And I'm like, no, Ben really wanted to do this for me. It's his present, guys. And it was, but also part of me was like, yes, stick it to him. That's how you hurt Ben Marshall.
Financially.
$70 at Charlie's on a Monday night.
Well, now his the threshold was 80 from Herbalife. Now it's 70.
Yeah, I'm growing, Lorenzo. And he was fine with it.
I'm sure he was. I'm sure he was, yeah.
And we have fun. We have fun together. We're good.
Sure.
Known Ben Marshall my whole life, since 5th grade. So.
Yeah, so you guys, I think I've talked to him about it. At one point, he's been on here 6 times. So at one point,
Tell me. Right, next week when we have part 2 of our 8 episode,
your 8 episode arc here on the Nerdball podcast.
But
yeah, you guys knew each other way back when, and you guys I don't know if you'd call it dating in that
Yeah,
young, but
no, yeah, I wouldn't even sit next to him at lunch. I was too nervous in sixth grade. He wanted to sit by me. I'm like, and I think we sat by each other, but I had my I turned my back to him the whole time.
worse.
I was
We were just talking last night. We went out to eat, and Andrew asked Mateo, he's in fifth grade. He's like, "Are there any?" She said, "Are there any dances?" He's like, "Sixth grade, there's a dance." And Lillian's like, "Are you gonna take somebody?" And he's like, "I don't know." He goes, "I'll probably just go with my friends."
yeah.
But it was so funny to me. And then I started talking to Andrea, reminiscing about my dances that I would go to in junior high because I went to a small Catholic school in Toledo, and we'd go to other Catholic schools. But it was so different because you didn't know anybody. Because now,
Yeah.
like if that would happen, like you would know kids because of social media and phones and stuff. But you just go, you're with your friends in your school, and then you just thrust into this other school, like, hey, get along. We all love Jesus. Get
Yeah.
along here.
Yeah, leave room for Jesus while dancing and
Yeah.
have fun. That's
Yeah.
so well, you could have walked up to like a girl that whoever you wanted to dance with, and like they could have like had a boyfriend that wanted to beat you
Yeah.
up or something. That's
Sure.
a high risk situation there.
Yeah. Well, I mean, I would never ever go up
Yeah.
to any girl. The girls in my class, I wouldn't even go up to. I was so
Yeah.
shy. I didn't want to talk to anybody. I mean, especially girls. You know, like as soon as I noticed girls, things switched in my brain. Like, oh my gosh, they noticed me now. Like, I didn't think about it until like, oh, she's cool. You know, like, wait, I
Yeah.
just noticed that thing on her. Do they know?
Yeah, I can no longer speak or look or talk to this girl that I really want to now speak and look and
Yes.
talk.
Like last week we were just talking about Ninja Turtles. Now I'm like, oh no, we can't do anything.
Isn't that so funny how it
Yeah.
clicks and things become embarrassing? Like
Yeah.
things are not embarrassing. Now everything I do is embarrassing.
Oh yeah. I forget who I was talking to. I don't know who I was talking about, but I told him like, yeah, I've been sucking my stomach since I was in fifth grade. That just that's when I noticed girls, and that's when I knew they noticed me. So I better help myself here.
Yeah.
It's terrifying. It's terrifying. And what's also terrifying is knowing my kids won't listen to me at all about any of that stuff.
Mm-hmm. No, they will not.
No.
Not at all. They'll have to figure it out.
Although I probably would have much rather listened to my parents. My brother gave me all the information, and I didn't want any of it from him. He's the one who told me. I used to have a joke when I would do stand up. He's the one who taught me how to French kiss, like not like each other, but he like explained the process to me, and it was terrifying.
Oh my gosh. Well, what did he mess with you? Like I would 100%
He did not.
with my little siblings. Like, oh yeah, in the nose. Like stick your tongue up in the nose. Girls
No,
love that.
he did not. He explained. I think with certain things, he didn't want me to. He wanted me to be cool. Like with certain things, like he picked on me all the time, made me cry. You know, one time we had this rocking horse. He tied me up on a rocking horse and shoved a sock in my mouth and turned the lights off in our basement. So like he did these big brother stuff, but certain things he wanted me to be cool. Like so he showed. He's like, yeah, when you can just kiss and then kind of like with your lips open up her lips, and then you stick your tongue in there. I'm like, oh my god. So then, of course, I'm in eighth grade. I try it and basically brush her teeth with my tongue. Like it did not work.
No. Yeah. Was that good for you? Yes.
Oh. So no, he did a lot of cool stuff. Like I said, I moved to Perrysburg when I was a freshman, and we used to have a dance called the Winter Core.
Yeah.
That's not a thing anymore, is it?
No, I mean we had it when we were at Perrysburg High School, but I don't know if they have a winter dance.
Yeah. So that or no, it wasn't even. It was homecoming. That's what it was. Because I had a date the Winter Core. I didn't have a date to homecoming. I asked the girl. She said no, which is fine. I was the new kid in school, and no one knows me. So I and my brother found out. So he called 4 girls from his old school in Toledo. So it was me, my brother, and these 4 girls that went to homecoming together. But
that is amazing.
Yeah. He did a lot of cool stuff. He did a lot of awful stuff, like I said. But that's just something I remember. And there's a picture floating around somewhere. But yeah, just me, just big 6'2" nerd looking dude, and these 4 beautiful girls.
Oh, that should be framed, Lorenzo. That should be.
My parents have it somewhere.
Yes. Just like cut out Andrea's face and like paste it on one of the girls, and then you can like show it off at your house. That'll make it acceptable. Because that's cool.
I saw this. That reminded me. I saw this TikTok where this girl is replacing pictures of her in her mom's house with pictures. Which she's putting Danny DeVito's head.
See how long it takes for the mom to
Yeah,
notice.
yeah. You know, the past few episodes, and I don't know why, my podcast is the Nerdball Podcast. I always start the podcast the same way, but I've been forgetting. Like every episode, I've been forgetting, and I think about it after the fact. But no, I don't have enough like enough loyal listeners to be like, hey, you keep forgetting, you moron. But I start each one with what are you nerding out about lately? Like, what are you into? What are you into? What are you like, books, movies, any of that stuff? Like, what is something you've been really into recently?
Oh, I knew you did this, and you're right. I've listened to the last couple, and I would have thought of something because I don't know. I don't read. I'm trying to read, but I'm not very good at reading.
Have you ever been good at reading?
No. Cliff Notes, all through high school. I think I've read like one book that I was supposed to.
I didn't like reading either until there was one year where I got put on Adderall. I think I was like 19, and I read so many books, and then it just like I could read now. I don't have time. Like I don't hate it like I used to, but it was like this one summer where I'm like, well, I gotta do something. My brain's trying to work here, you know?
Yeah. This encyclopedia looks inviting. Make my way through it. That's cool. So did that burn you out from reading, or you just
No, I could do it, and I have bought books. I just have zero time to like sit and read a book. Yeah.
No, so this probably doesn't count, but maybe I am focusing on like me. I'm nerding out about like making sure I'm taking care of myself. Like I'm a people pleaser, right? And I'm like worried about people's feelings way more and making everyone else happy. So I like in the last couple of weeks, I've been more focused on like we skipped Penny's soccer practice this week because it was just like too much. So I'm like, you know what? We're gonna stay home, get some stuff done, whatever. Yeah. So I don't know, just kind of like realizing I've been doing some like reflection and what needs to get done and how to take care of myself a little bit more.
Well, yeah. Oh, being a a people pleaser is the hardest skill to learn when you're like that is to say no.
Yeah.
I mean, it's like terrifying because this person's coming to me for this thing, whatever it is. If it's, you know, on a scale of 1 to 10, if it's a 1 or a 10, I need your help. Like being able to say no is hard.
Oh, absolutely. Because that's like that fills my cup, right? But with 3 kids and Ben coaching varsity football, you know the nights more than anyone. I've had something had to go, something had to cut. So really like focusing, and it's been fun. It's been cool to think about that more and take care of myself more and see the benefits of it. So
buying yourself things.
Yes, more shoes. They just makes it so much better.
Do you like shoes?
I like shoes.
Do you?
Nice. I had bunion surgery last year on both feet.
Okay.
So now I justify my expensive shoes because
it's for health reasons.
Health. It is. It is. The doctor said you should probably buy only Sorels and like other nice shoes.
Sure. Yeah. So, no more Meyer shoes. No, Steve Madden, get out of here.
Yeah. I don't have time for that. But yeah, so I've been learning about that, and I've been proud of myself and hoping to, keep that up and show my kids. Sometimes you gotta say no to people, or you gotta cut stuff out, and that's all right.
Well, I was gonna say it's good to you just said it. Your kids notice these things, and they notice that mom's running around all over the place. That's just life, and life's gonna be me running around all over the place too.
Yeah.
But if you can rein that in, and then they, without even telling them, they see like, oh, Wednesday I usually go to this thing, but we're not doing it because my mom wants to stay home. And
and we did our homework. Yeah, we did the homework early. We cleaned the house and we had dinner together. Like, yeah, it was cool. It was good to pick up on that stuff for sure. Like good and bad, obviously.
Yes, yeah. Well, Andrea said that last night. She was helping her parents with something, and her mom was like, "Hey, I'll make dinner. I'll make sloppy joes or whatever." And she's like, "I really want to go out to eat because we don't get to eat with each other very often. You know, a lot of times during the week we'll get home, and the kids will eat, or the kids eat before a practice or before I get home, and then Andrew and I will eat something after the fact, after they go to bed or something, So just going out and being together,
Yeah.
is. And then Lillian, she had a little crayon at the table, and she's like, I'm gonna spin it. I think it was Andrea. She's like, I'm gonna spin this, and you tell me the best part of your day. So we did that, and then whoever it lands on has to do it. And then Lillian's like, all right, I want to do one. And so she spun it, and Andrew's like, well, you need a question. We can't just keep saying the best part of your day. She goes, how big was your poop today?
As dinner is served.
Oh my God. It was weird. We were dying. We were dying. Mateo's like, well, I haven't gone today. So it's like, okay, guys, let's cut it out. Let's cut it out.
Give me 5 minutes. I'll report back.
Oh yeah.
So,
But
like, what a good memory.
yeah. All those little things. And the memory of Mateo never eating another meal off the kids menu and it being so expensive now.
Yeah. Oh my gosh. Yeah. And ordering not water. Like,
well, they usually only get water because we don't drink a lot of pop, and Lillian's still like, oh, this is spicy, so they don't drink a lot of pop. So it's either lemonade or water. But yeah, we went to Olive Garden, and the kids menu pasta chicken Alfredo is like, I don't know, $8. The adult portion is 18.
Oh my God.
Yeah.
Oh, and I wonder if 2 kids would be like the same size as one adult, or if you could, you know what I mean? I wonder.
Yeah, I don't know, but I just
game changer.
But that's just gonna be our life for the next 10 years, especially when Lillian starts not ordering off the kids' menu.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
She could probably do it now, but she still likes to get the crayons, and then and she's pretty particular about her food, which is not fun.
Yeah.
So,
no.
Yeah.
I don't know what food my kids like. Like if you said, make a dinner that like one of them is just gonna devour. I don't know if I could name one for like any of my kids.
Yeah. I know Lillian's favorite pizza is the pizza from Chili's.
Really?
If she could have any pizza, it'd be that. It's the 2 worst pizzas. A sit down restaurant that's not known for their pizza, and Little Caesars Hot and Ready. So
Little Caesar Hot and Ready is so good. I don't know.
It is good,
but yeah.
But if you could say, I mean, if I would ask you what's your favorite pizza, I'm sure you wouldn't say a Hot and Ready. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So.
Yeah. Yeah. She could go to Chicago and New York and have like the best pizza in the world, but she would pick Chili's and
Chili's. One time we went to Chili's and they didn't have it, and it was a meltdown. I think she was 5, and she there's other things you could eat. I want pizza. Yeah. I think they whipped something. They might have grilled a bun and put some sauce on it or something.
Oh my gosh. Did she like it?
She still ate it. She still yeah.
So funny. That's bless their heart. There's a parent in that kitchen that knew what had to be done.
Yeah. It was good. But all right. Well, thanks for coming on the podcast. We didn't talk about I didn't want to talk about coaching basketball.
That will have to wait till next time, Lorenzo.
Yeah, we could do it when you come back on. Maybe right before the season. When I'm finalizing my PowerPoint presentation.
Yes, absolutely. Assistant coach Lorenzo.
Yeah.
It'll be great. Hoping.
Well, I already have these things in mind where I'm making these at first it started off as a joke, like I'm gonna make this PowerPoint, but now I'm actually gonna do it because I find it hilarious and all these things I'm gonna do. So this one slide is like pros. You have more alone time because I can take Mateo with me, and Lillian does baton Mondays, Wednesdays. So after practice, I can go get Lillian, and you don't you can be have more alone time until we get home at 6:30. And then I was like, and then on Tuesdays and Thursdays when the games are, it's enough time for Lillian to get home, so I can take both the kids with me, and they can be at the game and play with Sunny and interact with. Yeah. Yes. So I'm coming up with all these different things to hopefully try to sway her into.
This is going to happen. This is for sure. I'm so excited. I'm proud of you for. And if it doesn't happen, you tried your best. You know what I mean? You got the no, giving it your all.
Yeah. I'm just never. I don't think there's no way she would say no if it's something I want to do. But I'm still gonna have all these facts ready to go.
Absolutely. And I obviously love your wife and respect her decision as well, and want you to not have a great divide or anything for freshman girls basketball.
I'll make up facts like 98% of wives have a better life when their husband coaches basketball.
Every time. 30% of the time, it works every time.
Yeah, perfect.
Yeah. You need to record this presentation, by the way, when you're presenting to.
Okay. I'll put it on Zoom.
Yes. Yes.
So, all right, Lexi. Yeah, it was awesome. Ben kept saying how boring you were, and he didn't. I'm just kidding.
No, we need as many people to listen to this, so the numbers are higher than Ben's.
I'm gonna need that. That's what I want. But I will. Yes, I appreciate it. It was awesome, and I'll definitely have you back on to talk more about whatever. You're excellent. So thank you.
Sounds good.
Thanks everybody for checking out this episode of the Nerd Ball Podcast. Please rate, review, and subscribe wherever you're hearing this, on any of the podcatchers, on YouTube. Hit that subscribe button so you never miss an episode. We're coming at you 2 times a week now, audio and video. Check us out on all the social medias. Just search the Nerd Ball Podcast on Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, TikTok. We're out there. Gmail is the nerdballpodcast@gmail.com. If you want to shoot us an email, we'll be happy to get back to you. Thanks to Real JP Multimedia, Cuttlefish Graphics, Perrysburg Junior High STEM Lab, and Big Daddy Graphics for helping out the podcast. Thanks for listening. We'll see you next time.